Hey, what's up people? I'm Ryan with Extreme Hardware. Today we have another product from our friends over at Corsair, the H150i Elite LCD AIO. So just as the name suggests, this AIO is a bit different than other AIOs that Corsair had previously released. Now an LCD screen sits on top the pump block top, showing all sorts of user desired information, pics, or even GIFs. So let's dive in and see what the Corsair H150i Elite LCD has going for it. So in my last review, I looked at the EVGA Z590 Dark with an i5 11600K 6-core 12-threaded CPU. Guess what was cool in that 11600K? Yep, the Corsair H150i Elite LCD. Temps were kept in check and never really went above 60C. I just wish that my 11600K clocked a bit better. But like I stated in the EVGA Z590 Dark review, it's all in the silicon lottery. Running a 360mm radiator on a 125-watt TDP is a bit overkill, yes, but wouldn't you rather have the extra cooling headroom than wish you had it? My thoughts exactly. Do yourself a favor and get yourself a bigger radiator than what you think you need. In fact, get the biggest you can fit in your PC case. So what do you get in the box? Well, obviously you get the H150i Elite LCD cooler, which consists of the standard components of an AIO loop, a CPU pump top, tubing, and a radiator. Also included are three of Corsair's newest 120mm maglev fans, the ML RGB Elites. These fans introduce Corsair's air guide technology, which utilizes anti-vortex vanes to channel airflow and improve cooling. These fans can be used in any configuration, whether it be for intake, exhaust, mounted on an air cooler, or in this case, a liquid cooling radiator. These fans, also being part of the maglev series, have a maglevitation bearing which reduces friction and noise, allowing for better performance and longer durability. Inside the center housing are 8 addressable RGB LEDs which illuminate the translucent 120mm fan blades. Everything is controlled by Corsair's included Command Core smart RGB fan controller via their iCUE software. The Command Core, which can actually control up to 6 ARGB fans as well as a single pump, is the brains of the operation. If you have an older Capellix model from Corsair, they even sell an LCD upgrade kit to get you up to speed without having to purchase the entire kit. Full support for the vast majority of sockets, the H150i Elite LCD even comes ready for the new LGA 1700 socket that Intel just launched, featuring their Alder Lake CPUs. Just like previous AIOs, the H150i Elite LCD comes with pre-applied thermal paste, but I would like to see a tube of thermal paste for future mountings. Also included in the box is a USB splitter, which is handy if you have a single USB header on your motherboard. Corsair's iCUE software, which now controls or monitors a vast majority of system components, has a ton of features that one could spend hours tinkering around with. iCUE picked up on the sensors on the Intel Core i5 11600K, as well as the NVIDIA RTX 2080 Super that I was using on my test bench. Nice. One very cool feature is the ability to customize the LCD screen with an image or GIF, which I took full advantage of with the Extreme Hardware logo. Of course, you can control the RGB light patterns on both the pump top and fans, but the real fun is within the screen setup. Having the ability to monitor your CPU temp, GPU temp, or both at the same time is pretty sick. You can even customize the color of each sensor type accordingly. So this brings me to the LCD panel itself. By God, it's gorgeous. Spec'd out at 2.1 inches with a resolution of 480 by 480 on an IPS panel at 30 Hz with 24-bit colors, this LCD display takes the crown for the best implementation of a screen on an AIO to date. Around that circular IPS screen is an addressable RGB ring, which is very nicely diffused. The cabling coming off the LCD display is also very nicely done. The pump top is actually the very same design as Corsair's own Capellix line of AIOs, which means it features the same split flow copper cold plate design, having 128 micro-skid fins per inch. Of the things that have always bothered me about AIOs is the cable mess that comes from the CPU pump top. Now Corsair has sleeved them all into a single, more elegant solution. Exiting the pump top, the tubing has a soft touch sleeving, making for a more premium feel. Moving to the radiator, which is 360mm, means you need to have a decently sized case to mount the sucker. The radiator is of typical Corsair fashion, with the company's logo on both sides. Installing the H150i Elite LCD really wasn't any different than any other AIO. I would, however, and I understand that it's RGB and that's the way it is, but I would love to see some other way to daisy chain the PWM and ARGB connections together so you don't have two long ass cables going to the Commander Core unit. Now, since I brought up the Commander Core, now in theory, the Commander Core is awesome. Functionally, it does exactly what it is designed to do. However, it's another piece to install in your case, which means more cables. Ugh. So temps for the H150i Elite LCD running on the Intel Core i5 11600K at stock frequencies, which is 3.9 gigahertz, which actually ran about 4.6 gigahertz with boost with 1.25 vCore, ran around 34C on the entire package at idle. Fully loaded up at 4.6 gigahertz on AIDA 64 Extreme, load temps rose to 76C at 1.38 vCore on the balanced fan profile, which runs the ML Elite 120 fans at around 1400 RPM in iCUE. Ramping up the fans to the extreme profile runs the fans at around 2000 RPM, which seems to keep temps a bit more chilly, albeit at a higher noise level. Now being priced at a staggering $289.99, tech like this doesn't come cheap. Breaking things down, each fan has an MSRP of $34.99, so that's $105 USD, leaving $185, which is a steep price to pay for an LCD screen, which there is a $99 upgrade on Corsair's website. So why not get the H150i Elite Capellix and get the LCD upgrade kit? Well, if you weren't planning on going with the new Alder Lake CPUs from Intel anytime soon, sure, if you can get the combo cheaper. I would also argue that one could put together a pretty nice CPU open loop water cooling kit for around the $300 that the H150i Elite LCD is priced at. But that's not the nature of an AIO, is it? Not having to make sure that there aren't any leaks or pick out components or even maintenance other than cleaning out the radiator of dust and fans, AIOs win for convenience every time. That's what makes AIOs so damn popular. And what's popular right now? Screens on all the things. So in conclusion, who is the Corsair H150i Elite LCD targeted towards? Well, I would say just about anyone who takes aesthetics seriously, and Corsair loves aesthetics. However, I'm not saying that they don't take cooling performance seriously either. The three included ML Elite 120 fans are pretty quiet and perform excellent on a radiator. The Elite LCD AIO is also available in 240 and 420mm versions, but the 280mm version has been omitted. Odd. Maybe the performance of the 360mm model would be very similar to that of the 280mm one. Having two 140mm fans would run quieter and push almost the same air volume. Another issue I see at this price point is not having more thermal paste included, like Corsair's own XTM50 or TM30 thermal paste, which is like $8 or $15, which would present more value at the given price point. So all things given, the Corsair H150i Elite LCD is a pretty cool AIO. Get it? This, however, does come at a higher than normal AIO price point, but hey, you get a screen! That said, I would award the recommended award to the Corsair H150i Elite LCD AIO. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my look at Corsair's H150i Elite LCD AIO. Please take a moment and like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm Ryan with Extreme Hardware, and I'll see you in the next one.